Let's start with a silent prayer.
Siyanamukela, sizoqala ngomthandazo othulile.
And I put the whiteboard drawing that I had in the beginning that I erased. I put it back here and at the bottom. So I want to finish this line. It won't take as long as it did in the first two waymarks. When I presented this line in January, I was under the conviction that Sunday law was 2025. And that 2024, July 2024 was actually Exeter. I explained why I changed my position. So I'm saying July to November for the Eastern Front is the Sunday law waymark. And at this time period, Donald Trump started to become active in his dealings with Putin, in interacting with Putin. In July, it starts with the visit of Viktor Orban in Moscow. And Orban here is a puppet of Trump in this case. And it ends with Trump himself having a phone call with him, promising to solve the issue in as soon as he is in power the next year. This cooperation, this working with Viktor Orban, was put together in March of the same year. In March 8th, Viktor Orban and Putin came together in Florida. And they made a plan. They spoke about many things, but they also spoke about the Russia-Ukraine war. About the plans and the ideas they have. and Trump said that he he wants to solve this war as soon as he is in power. And they started to cooperate with each other since this time period, and that started actually became more visible in July. Okay. So this is an adjusted version of the original one that I presented in January. This is Eastern Front. And I want to add the Western Front. So that's the line of Eleutheria, I would say, the Western Front to this board work as well. So let's start here. So she marks July as Sunday law. So 18th of July, December December 17 or December 18. Um, it's the date for the Electoral College coming together. So here it's the RNC. So here Donald Trump is elected at the RNC by the delegates. And in December, Donald Trump is also elected by the delegates of the Electoral College. So the 30th of May, we mark as Exeter. So here you can already see the Democratic Party supporting Donald Trump basically blindly. The 30th of May is the hush money court case. We mark there the hush money court case of Donald Trump being convicted. And you see that the Democrats are there every day physically in the courtroom to support Donald Trump. I'll go back there. I'll go back there in a second. I'll go to March 6th to bookend this webinar. So March 6th is the day where the last candidate of the Republican primaries steps down. At March 6th, the last candidate of the Republican candidates steps down. I will explain that. So in this time period, at the beginning of 2024, I think there's 5 or 6 Republican candidates that want to run for president. And one after the other steps down because they realize they don't have enough support. And on March 6th, it is Nikki Haley, the last candidate next to Trump, that decides to step down. So on March 6th, everybody knows that Donald Trump is going to be the only candidate at the RNC. So Trump is the only candidate and he is blindly supported. He's blindly supported by all the Republicans, or at least by the Republican leadership. Now, and here in July, Trump is crowned. So it's just made official here, but you can already see it here. So let's go back one waymark. That's June 24. To August 19. So June 24, or the 24th of June, is where Roe v. Wade is overturned, the abortion court. Um, it's a court case of v. Jackson, Dobbs v. Jackson. So now the regulations regarding abortion are now sent to the states. So the states are now able to decide for themselves whether they have allow abortion or not. So many states immediately introduce very severe, very strong abortion laws. And you can consider this court case, you can consider this the death decree. Because this waymark, it's Concord, or yeah, it's Concord waymark. Between 2021 and 2024. On the line of the Nethinims or the Levites. 2021 is close of probation. 2024 is second advent. Then here, this way mark, this one here, is death decree. So on August 19, we mark potentially the first woman dying because of this change in this judicial court case. Her name is Amber Thurman. She died because of complications in her pregnancy. And doctors in the hospital were not willing or afraid to help her. They waited until the last moment to help her, and then it was too late. And people, some commentators, mark this as possibly the first woman dying of the change in this law, or in this, yeah, the change of the abortion laws in America. So then we go here. So this is, by the way, the 2022. So we go to 2021, January 6th. To December, which is a Boston for a new dispensation. It marks a rise of Trumpism. But you can't really see it. Because January 6th actually shows you could argue, a defeat for the rise of Trumpism, because Biden becomes president and Trump tries to take it, but is not able to. So you can't really see. You need to go behind the scenes to actually know that people are, or Trump is, no, let me say it different. Even here in January in 2021, the Republican Party is publicly considering or thinking about whether they should continue with Donald Trump or not in the future. So you can't really see the rise of, or the continued rise of Trumpism in this time. People are doubting. But even without a president, you can see in 2022, without a Republican president, you can see that the Supreme Court is continuing the ideology. of what Donald Trump already put in place before. It's also 2022 where Donald Trump announced that he would run for president again. So I think it's November. So the rise of Donald Trump. So the rise of Donald Trump and the rise of Trumpism becomes more visible. Did I lose my translator? I don't hear.
Lani,
Are you there?
Lani, I don't know. I think he's having network problems.
Yeah. I can wait.
Lani,
Oh yeah, he's disconnected. Yeah.
he's back.
Yeah. No worries.
Okay.
Okay. Where was I? So we can see the rise of Trumpism becomes more visible here in this year, 2022. Then here in 2024, it becomes clear that Donald Trump is going to be the only candidate. And that Republicans are still blindly support him. And that is made official in July. So that is the Western Front line, I would suggest. And I also want to add the line of the internal movement. So in 2021, Elder Tess presented a radical feminism. Also, the message on LGBTQ. I think they are connected with each other. You cannot teach the one without the other. Then in February of the next year to June, Elder Tess presents the Vespers, her Vespers series. Then in 2024, April to May, Elder Terry gives the time prediction for the Sunday law. And then from July to I'm suggesting ICM in October. The fulfillment of the Sunday law is explained. Yeah, so this is the three layers on top of each other. Internal movement. This is Western Front. And this is Eastern Front. Of course, we are now in 2025. And I'm suggesting that we're at the moment in the increase of knowledge of the next dispensation. I don't have any official dates to bookend it. But I think it is interesting to see that on January 22nd, the introduction was made for the start of this Sunday law messages in the movement. Actually, what we're doing today. That people with a Sunday law message will visit all the independent ministries or all the ministries in the movement and teach the Sunday law messages. I'm suggesting that is the increase of knowledge of this new dispensation that we are in. And at this increase of knowledge, a further development of the Sunday law understanding is given. So for example, Elder Terry, you see her explain much more about what the Sunday law actually is, about the dragon power, etc. Where she first presented, not only, but basically she presented the time element of the Sunday law. Now we start to have an increase of knowledge of what actually the Sunday law is. And why it is July. So, talking about Eastern Front, King of the North, King of the South. February 18, diplomatic relations were restored. Between America and Russia. Because they promised here to talk, to continue, or to talk and do for negotiations and ceasefire. But all the way since the beginning of the war, the USA has cut off all diplomatic relations with Russia. So for them to have talks, official talks about peace and ceasefire, it was important first that the diplomatic relations were restored first. And that marked the beginning of a process of negotiations and peace talks, etc. So Donald Trump said he's going to fix this war in one day. But we're now in June and nothing really has changed so far. On the Western Front, so America internal, we of course know that on January 20th, Donald Trump was officially inaugurated. And the same day or the day after, he started to introduce several or many executive orders. And I think that marks the beginning of a new dispensation internally in America. Because many things changed since those executive orders were put out. So this is my understanding at the moment. And with still some question marks or questions that I have. One of them is the one that I explained here about Pentium. But perhaps this is the point where we could have some questions and answers if there's any.
Hi, Arjan. How are you?
I heard somebody
Greetings.
very quietly.
Yes, greetings, Arjan. How are you?
Hi, good to hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you
Yes,
hear me? Oh, how are you?
good, thank you.
Thank you. It's Tato. So I have a question. It's actually questions. But I'd like to converse first, and then I'll ask my question after. So as you were gonna present, I was asking myself, hey, now this guy is gonna come and then he's gonna Arjan is gonna come and then he's gonna defend 2025. Should I be listening or should I not be listening?
Oh,
Because I was there's to and fro questions now. Or to which one exactly now one will be listening to. But then when you started your presentation saying that no, you actually have changed your position, I was like, okay, now I can listen. And yeah, so actually that was something that was going through my mind. as I watch your presentations in the past. So now my question is, you on the first board that you erased, you marked that Daniel chapter 11 verse 41. It's where the one that says that you have the many that are going to
Overthrow.
there's interpretation. So probably he will just summarize it if he can hear me. So it the many that are going to fall away. You said it's not it's not in the Exeter before the Sunday law, but it's Exeter after the Sunday law. That's where we have the many falling away. So my question is then the understanding that we were having, the one that Tess brought it to the front, that you have the many that are falling away prior to the Sunday law, is that changing to make it the one that is going to be after the Sunday law?
I don't know if it is changing, but yes, I think so. The short answer is I think yes, because I'm almost certain that Elder Tess has taught it this way. There's at least one presentation where she quite explicitly says it that way. So she's either or misunderstanding it or makes a mistake, or we just have an increase of knowledge now on this subject where we say like, oh, actually we were wrong in the past, and it's now this. But I actually also had it. I think it's connected with point one. I think they're basically one point together. It's that we misjudged the Sunday law in the past, I think, as an event, or as that this is the Sunday law time period, instead of Sunday law only marking the beginning, which is actually nothing, and it only goes to happen here. It's also like close of probation, because I didn't continue this line, but there's close of probation here. Close of probation is only the beginning of a dispensation that we call the close of probation. So we have here a Boston and an Exeter again, because this is only the agitation. I know it's a little small, but so this is only the agitation of the worldwide Sunday law, and here is going to be the test for the world. As this was here, let's use another color. So this was the agitation national, internal in America, and this is going to be the test national in America. And then you have the agitation and the test. But that would mean, according to our old model, that after the close of probation, you still have a test. And in that same thinking, I have been thinking about Sunday law. Because this model that I just said, that's what Elder Terry has been presenting. That's where her model of July is based upon. So if we accept July as the Sunday law, you're basically, we need, this is the model that is we are required to take to go with this model, because the other model doesn't work then. And I think that's what she has been explaining the last couple of months. Does that help?
So does that mean who gets to fall away then? who's the people that is being referred to when you look at Dan 11 verse 41? Because in that model that she was presenting, she was showing that it's those people who would be standing, who would have a knowledge of something, and now they will be falling out, they will fall, or they will be, use the word captive, because of they are moving from being free to being kept, or to being imprisoned, or they
Yes.
will fall. So who is it then who we would say they are actually falling then, if we change it to make it other Sunday law? Because we would say it is actually the people in this movement. Then who is it then after the Sunday law that are actually falling?
I think the original premise is that it's people in the movement, um, and I'm not. I don't know why we should change that. And at the same time, I think it also still works for people outside of this movement, like I don't know, individuals in the world. Um, but yeah, falling away means you were at a good place and you go to a wrong place. So you were free and now you're captive. That is the logic that we've been using to say, okay, you were free, you were in the movement, you were believing the right thing, and still you decide to go and do the wrong thing. I'm at the moment I don't know why I should change that position. Perhaps there is a reason for it, but at the moment I would say it is then talking to us. Um, but at the same time, I think we can still continue on until this day, until this dispensation here even, and even fall there. So it's not as black and white close of probation as I think we used to believe it. Like, of course, there is a point where the close of probation is definitely, but close of probation is also a period of time, and I think we need to get used to that idea as well. But to get back to your answer, I would say still people that were at a good place and they go to a wrong place. So that is talking to us as a movement, but I would say people in the world could be in a good place as well and still go to a wrong position.
Okay. Okay. No, it's fine, because what goes through my mind, it will be like, okay, probably it can be applied in both ways, but then what will be the logic, or the what can I use to apply it, or to use the verse in those two parts, saying that here, before the Sunday law, we are actually speaking about a group of people that were actually standing, and it's actually the movement. But then when you come to the Sunday law, it's still relevant to say that it is actually the people who are outside the movement, because of they were those people who we would say they were standing, but yet they are going to be captive as well, just like it was with the people who were within the movement. So yeah, I think maybe it's something for one to think on, and to try and work it out.
Yeah.
But thank you so much.
Thank you, Tando. Is there another question? If not, then we could leave it here for now.
Are you gonna come back? Are you gonna do a presentation again with us?
Not planned at the moment, but if there is a desire, I'm open for it. But no, at the moment, this would be the end then.
Okay. No, thank you so much. I had a question then, but I thought people were going to ask.
No, apparently nobody else wants to ask, so you're allowed to ask.
So you say here, we are currently having, you see the lines at the top, they that are in blue on top of the red.
Yeah.
You said last part, you said that one, it's you have the increase of knowledge. So my question is, you have different teachers that are going around that that are teaching about the Sunday law. And you said in your statement that they are actually standing or they are teaching about the Sunday law, yes. But then the problem my confusion, it's here with the ones that are actually teaching about the 2025 Sunday law. How are you in Concord? Are they in Concord with the message of the Sunday law? Because you have two different waymarks that which they are actually we people are grappling with. Okay, is it 2025 or is it 2024? But you see much logic when it comes to 2024, based on all the, I don't know what I can say, but based on all these other facts that were laid out to establish 2024. But then how is it an increase of knowledge if you are standing in different angles and then pointing to two different things? Because one is saying 2025, others are saying 2024.
Good point.
Can we still part of the increase of knowledge?
Good point. Yes, I agree that especially in the beginning, there were several voices, several opinions, several ideas. But I think the whole purpose of this, how do you call this? The whole purpose of this visiting all the ministries and inviting all the different speakers, this idea that we are now following, it's to get acquainted with the different messages, but also to unify, come together and study together. So I think this whole process, and I think we can see it also with the messengers as myself, but for example, Aaron is another speaker. He was teaching November, November 5. He moved away from that idea as well, and now he is also teaching July. So I think we come more and more in unity. So it's not where we are from day one. We are all in unity, but I think this process will bring us into concord. Well, in the end, the message will go forward, and whether people stick to it or not, will of course we'll find out. But I think the whole purpose of this, I just don't know how to word this, but this exercise that we're doing together is to come in concord. And that this message that we're all having all together, it has been a little divided and split, but it will come as we go, it comes closer together. And in the end, it will swell into a loud cry. And I think, I don't know when this increase of knowledge dispensation, as I see it at least, will end. But maybe we come to a point where we come to an agreement on certain waymarks and issues on the Sunday law message. You can call it, certainly you can call it Concord. So there's no Concord in January, but hopefully there will be Concord at the book ending, the end waymark.
Okay. No, thank you so much. I see wisdom in that, because if from the word go, the movement would have said, no, the message that is going to be taught is 2024. Probably we will be having one group that will be a group of Arjan. We'll be having one group with a different teacher, one group with another teacher, because it was going to be bringing that split. But now the room that has been given, it's to allow the mind to be able to sever or to separate the noise from the actual thing that which people are actually looking at. So I see wisdom in that. As much as I was also trying to debate it in my mind, saying what was the purpose of it, but then at the end of the day, you see some wisdom and point in, okay, we would already by this time having different groups, and all this thing at the end of the day, I believe it like a friend of mine says that it is something to test us, to see if we can be able to follow through with the logics that are being brought forth. Because one of the questions that I was going to ask you, if you were sticking to 2025, was that then do you profess or do you say that you are a third angel? Because I think that's one of the titles that many would be saying, that the third angel will be the one, will be a messenger who brings the message of the Sunday law, you see. So that was one of the questions that I was.
Is that
I don't. No, that was something that was going through my mind, but then I was not gonna, and now I'm not gonna be asking, but it was something that I was gonna ask you.
okay?
Yeah, so
No,
yeah,
I'm just wondering
otherwise, thank you.
if the person that predicts the Sunday law waymark is the third angel. I never saw it that way, but because I think that's what
I'm not.
Elder Parminder has been talking about that in, also that was Germany, January this year, I think, where, I don't know, is still somebody translating, by the way? I just noticed. Is it not necessary to this to be translated? Yeah, I just realized. No, I mean I should just talk slow, but I just suddenly realized there's no translator anymore. Because sorry, with translator you mean? Yeah, I don't know the group dynamic. Um, um, no, I'm just going back in my mind to a presentation of Elder Parminder. Where he explained the dynamics of the angels and the messengers and the members. That, as far as I understand it, Elder Parminder is the third angel. And that those that have a Sunday law message are just messengers. It doesn't mean that a messenger can become an angel in the future, because that's what happened with Parminder in the past. But having a Sunday law message doesn't necessarily mean you are the third angel, in my mind at least. Because if that was on your mind, would you say that Elder Terry is the third angel?
From the lessons that one looked at, except if one saw or understood it in in incorrect way, but I thought that was what it was said, that you have Tess as the second, and you have Elder Terry and Amanda as the third. But I'm not sure. I'll just have to rewatch them for again to make sure if I had them correctly. So it's something that I'm still I'll have to go back to and rewatch it again to see if I misunderstood it.
Okay, I could be wrong as well. So yeah, should that be translated? All right, thank you. I see a hand raised.
Yes, hi Arjan, how are you? Can you hear me?
Very slow, very quietly.
And now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, thanks. Okay. I think I've just lost a couple of thoughts when Tato was sharing his points. But
Oh,
okay, I just wanted to add to your response, especially to the idea that there's a falling away before the Sunday law, and then did we change our position? I think with the refinement that have been coming through, we've seen that fundamentally the structure of our message doesn't really change. But it's also important to see the limitations of certain concepts, especially as our message is developing. And I think the concept which Elder Terry emphasized was that when a waymark is just opening or arriving, it's limited to put a test right there. And I think that was a really fundamental point. And yeah, it doesn't really change the dynamics of what we believe in terms of the falling away itself. And then I wanted to add that I think the recent studies which Elder Pamela is doing on Hebrews 8 also explains the dynamics of what we used to think the falling away is actually. Is trying to explain what how limited our view on sin is and all that. So I think it's really good for us to keep, I think, following and expand our knowledge on all our existing fundamental principles in light with the advancement and the growth that we are going through. It's all part of, I think, the experience that we are required in this dispensation. Yeah, and I think, yeah, those are my points. I think the 2 points I wanted to add. Yeah, thank you.
thank you.
I'm not sure if there's 2 more questions. Tina?
Hello? Yes,
Hi.
Elton. Sorry.
Hello, I just wanted to ask about the veto power because I don't understand it.
About what power?
You said veto power.
Oh, veto. Yep.
If I understood you correctly, you said the fact that Russia, okay, you said if you're part of the conflict, you don't get to be part of the vote. So I'm wondering how come Russia was able to veto when they were part of the conflict?
Good question. Yes. The problem with the Security Council, or the problem with the United Nations in general, is that from the beginning, they never really took the rules serious. At least some of those, and this is one of them. So this rule has been broken. Oh, sorry, this needs to be Do you need to translate the question first? Oh, okay. So what I wanted to say. Oh, this rule has been broken many times in the past. So the rule that says you cannot vote when you are part of a conflict. And Russia did vote in this case. And the question is, why was Russia even allowed to? And the problem is that other countries have done the same thing in the past as well. America also. In situations of the Vietnam War, in USSR, I think even Iraq. Both all the other veto powers or permanent members have done the same thing in the past. So Russia can just do it now. Because the USA cannot stand up and says, hey, you're not allowed to do this. Because they did the same thing not so long ago. So I want to point out that it's not a unique thing at this moment, but it's important. And it shows how do you say that? Incapable, is that a word? How the United Nations is not working. Because in the end, the players just do what they want. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Tina had a question before.
Oh, I didn't see the question. I heard someone calling my name. I don't know Milton, if Milton won.
I thought you had a question. I thought you had a question before, or
No,
oh, okay.
no, I didn't.
No, it was just a moment of silence. I was checking if there's no more question for you to either close.
Ah,
Yes.
okay. Okay. Sorry. All right. If there's no other questions, I would, I guess the time is there for a closing prayer. Let's close in prayer. Dear Heavenly God, we thank you, Lord, for the beautiful opportunity of studying together online. And it would have been much better and greater experience if we were able to see each other physically and be in the same room. But as that was not possible, we are blessed by the technique to be able to do it this way. Lord, I pray that you be with this group in South Africa. That they will grow together and will be united in the truth. I pray that you bless them as we move through this important Sunday law history. I pray that you continue to bless us this Sabbath day. In Jesus' name we pray and we thank you. Amen.